friends, you are chilling with Christine. I am a working homeschool mom of 3 and passionate about helping other moms and encouraging them and giving them tools and resources so that they can live an integrated life with joy, confidence, and peace. Today we're talking about 5 things you need and 3 things you don't when it comes to homeschooling. This is by no means an extensive list. It's just some of the things that percolated to the top of the list when I was thinking through these things. Would love to hear from you what you think are some of the things that are necessary for homeschooling and those things that you just really don't need. Start off the 3 things you don't need. A dedicated homeschool room. Every once in a while, I'll see these videos pop up of homeschool room tour, and they look absolutely beautiful. We don't have that. We have a smaller fold-out table next to our kitchen table. Aside from that, we have one cabinet where we keep all their school stuff organized, but other than that, that's it. So it is nice having a dedicated space to do their schoolwork. It just kind of helps with the routine and setting the rhythm, but we do not have a designated room that they do their schoolwork, and it's not necessary. And oftentimes we are grabbing their clipboards, grabbing their schoolwork, and doing it outside or on the go. The other thing you don't need is fancy, expensive curriculum. It can be very easy and very enticing to dive right in, but would recommend really just kind of slowing down and not just jumping into buying a curriculum. If there is a curriculum that you're looking at, oftentimes there are sample pages that you can look at to see how it may or may not work with your child. It doesn't have to be expensive. There are some really awesome, beautiful, great curriculums out there that are not as expensive. And that is one thing we had talked about in the last video about when it comes to some of the fears of homeschooling. One of them was budget, and that includes budgeting for curriculum. The other fear, and this relates into the 3rd thing you don't need, is a teaching degree. That is one thing I hear most often. I would love to homeschool, but I just don't know how to teach. I don't have the patience to teach. I talked about it more in depth in that fear video, but there is no one more equipped to teach your child than you. And I don't have a teaching degree. I have no real experience teaching. I don't know everything. But delving into this homeschool journey has opened up the opportunity for me to continue to grow and learn alongside my child. So now the things you do need. One of the definite things I would say would be a supportive spouse. Now, are there single moms at homeschool? Yes. Are there moms at homeschool that don't have support from their spouse? Yes. But for me, especially working outside the home, it has been exponentially important for me to have my husband that has been on board from day one with homeschooling, because he helps teach. The days that I'm out on the road working, he's teaching and he's with them and he's doing all their stuff. So especially for us and our family, it is very important to have both spouses on the same page and supportive when it comes to homeschooling. The second thing is some sort of support group, because you are going to get people who do not support your decision to homeschool. For us, it has been such a blessing to have groups of other homeschool families that our kids get together with on a weekly basis, and they're building those strong, lifelong friendships. And I am too. I'm an introvert. I do not make friends easily. I do well with one-on-one, but I do not do well in large groups. And for the past 5 years, we've been in our baby making newborn season, and you guys know it is very difficult to go out and make friends when you're working and you have newborns and all the things that encompass that. And so it's been really great having the groups that we have so our kids can make friendships, I can make friendships and connections. They understand they're homeschooling too. And they each all have their different approaches, so I get to gain wisdom from them and learn as well. And it has just been so wonderful and just since we found these groups and started these groups have been such a game changer for our family. Next up is having a plan. I'm a planner. I plan my year, my quarter, my month, my week, my day. There is flexibility to that. We'll get to that in the next one, but having a plan. Both my husband and I were on board. We talked about what we kind of wanted this to look like. Sat together, because with both of us working outside the home, had to agree on what that schedule was. What day is he gonna work? What days am I working? Kind of loosely, when are the kids gonna do their schoolwork? What are they gonna do on each day? What other things do we want to incorporate? So we had to have a plan for all of that. Now, the next thing that I would say you need to homeschool, in addition to having a plan, is flexibility. I feel like that is one thing my husband and I have been able to really build throughout our years of marriage, is just a flexibility and an ebb and flow, especially when it comes to our home life and our work schedules, because of different things and different seasons. That's looked very different a lot of the times, and there's been multiple moments in time where we've had to adjust our schedule and to adjust our flow and get into a new flow. And so I feel like we're pretty adept at that, which I feel has been very beneficial in our homeschool journey so far. Because yes, we have a loose plan for each day, we have a loose routine for each day, but that doesn't always happen. Sometimes things get shifted or moved later in the day or to a different day, or kids get sick, or everybody just needs a rest day. We're able to kind of ebb and flow with those changes and be flexible with those changes. Number 5, having a why. Why are we doing this? Because it's very different from what everybody else is doing. It doesn't make sense to a lot of people. There are some days that are really difficult and really challenging. And we're like, why are we doing this? And we were very firm in the beginning on our why. We know exactly why we are doing this, why we are structuring our life this way, the reasons behind them. That just makes those rough days a little bit more bearable. Knowing that this is our why, this is kind of our mission statement for our family and our life. That's been one thing that both my husband and I have had some training on. Let me know down in the comments if you would like a deeper dive video on just kind of some tools and resources, and just kind of give you a blueprint on steps that you can follow or some things you could think about to start to develop your why when it comes to homeschooling. The next thing that we have found to be necessary in our homeschool journey, grace and patience. And this is not exclusive to homeschool. This is something that my husband and I have had to work on and to continue to develop through the years of our marriage and going into the years of starting a family and raising kids, is grace and patience. Not only for our own selves, but for each other and for our kids as well. We interact with the kids differently. We do things a little bit differently. And so just extending a little bit of grace and patience to each other and to ourselves as well when we're not our best, and obviously to our kids as well when they're having a little bit of a rough day. Just a little bit of grace and patience has shown to go a very, very long way.